opening hook, start with a compelling statement about the stakes of the 2024 election, how it's shaping up to be a pivotal moment in American history. Historical context. Briefly touch on Trump's legacy from his previous term, his influence within the GOP, and his role as a polarizing figure. Introduce Kamala Harris, emphasizing her position as the first female vice president and her historic candidacy if she's the Democratic nominee. Narrative framing. Explain how this matchup captures a unique dynamic, bringing two distinct styles and ideologies into direct competition. Polling data, trends, and analyzing. Current polling snapshot. Present recent polling data that sets the baseline for where both candidates currently stand. Discuss variances across reputable polling organizations, Gallup, Pew. Key demographic. Break down the numbers by demographic groups. Age. Mention how younger voters, 1834, tend to lean Democratic, but may have varying enthusiasm levels for Harris. Race and ethnicity. Explain how Black, Latino, and Asian voters view Harris, given her historic position versus Trump's appeal to white, non-college educated voters. Education and income. Address how education levels influence support for each candidate, with college-educated voters generally favoring Democrats and blue-collar workers gravitating toward Trump. Comparative data. Include comparisons to 2020 and 2016 polls to highlight shifts or consistencies in voter behavior and how that could impact 2024. 3. Ideological and policy differences. Economy. Explain Trump's pro-business approach and promises for tax cuts versus Harris's focus on social spending and worker protections. Discuss which approach resonates more, given the current economic context. Healthcare. Outline Trump's deregulatory approach and critiques of Obamacare, contrasted with Harris's advocacy for expanding healthcare access. Immigration. Examine Trump's hardline stance versus Harris's support for immigration reform, highlighting how each position may impact voter support in border states. Foreign policy. Look at each candidate's stance on U.S., Russia, relations, China, and defense spending, noting which voters are likely to prioritize these issues. 4. Public perception and media portrayal. Media narratives. Analyze how both candidates are portrayed in the media. Trump's long-standing media battles have defined much of his public perception, while Harris's own media challenges have shaped her narrative. Controversies and resilience. Mention specific controversies each candidate has faced, such as Trump's impeachment trials and legal challenges, or Harris's criticism on immigration policies and her role as VP. Public image and rhetoric. Compare how each candidate's communication style affects their image. Trump's unfiltered, direct approach V's. Harris's calculated, sometimes cautious public statements. 5. Campaign strategies, tactics in 2024. Messaging and slogans. Explore each candidate's main messages. Trump's likely emphasis on Make America Great Again fees. Harris's potential focus on unity, equity, and rebuilding. Fundraising and advertising. Discuss campaign funding sources and the scope of their advertising strategies. Mention digital platforms, TV ads, and grassroots mobilization. Social media and digital strategy highlight Trump's strong base on social media, especially among conservative outlets, versus Harris's use of social media to reach young voters and communities of color. Debates and public appearances. Discuss the potential impact of debates, contrasting their speaking styles, and how each might appeal to undecided voters or sway the opposition. 6. Impact of key issues on voter motivation. Economic concerns. Explore how the state of the economy, inflation, and job market affect the candidate's popularity, with both sides offering different solutions to economic insecurity. Healthcare and social programs. Analyze voter sentiment on social safety nets and healthcare reform, with Harris generally drawing support for expanded access and Trump appealing to those wary of government intervention. Cultural issues. Address how stances on issues like reproductive rights, education, and LGBTQ+ rights influence younger and suburban voters who are increasingly central to the electoral map. Security and national identity. Examine how each candidate's approach to security, law enforcement, and national pride appeals to different voter blocs, especially among conservative